Hey everybody, it's Kate Johnson. It's Thursday, September 23rd at 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern, and we are glad to be here. We are kicking off this new study group, this little sub-Facebook group of the Bookkeeping Side Hustle community to have all of us hopefully pass our Gusto People Advisory Certification. So if you're here to learn more about the Gusto People Advisory Certification, you are in the right place. I see lots of people watching. Give us a shout out. Yes, some people are saying hello. If you can hear, tell us where you're from. I'd like to introduce two people who know a whole heck of a lot more than I do about all this. We've got Jacqueline Anku, sorry, tell me, which one?
Anku, yeah.
Anku and Annie Arthur. They're both from Gusto. I actually have interacted with Annie a lot because she is my Gusto partner rep. I send her emails whenever I get a new client and want to double check that I'm doing something right. And Jacqueline is the first time I've had a chance to really meet with her on this initiative, but she is, well, I'll let you introduce yourself, but she's in charge of the certification and curriculum. Annie, why don't you start though? Tell us who you are and just give us the rundown and why you're here with us as our support person.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Kate. So I am here because like you said, you and I have worked together really closely over the past year, 2 years. Any questions that you have about Gusto, I am the extension of your team. So whether you don't know where to turn and what resources to go to, whether you have a new client that you want to identify, just think of me kind of as your Swiss Army knife of what you need, because I'm really just here to make sure your life is better when it has to do with anything pertaining to Gusto.
Right.
That's pretty much it. I'm really just here for my partners.
Awesome. And Jacqueline, what's the skinny on you?
Yeah, I lead partner education here at Gusto and was honored by the experience of getting to build the certification program. So I couldn't be any more excited to be a part of this study group. A little bit of context, I started my career working at a nonprofit microlender here in the Bay Area that provided both capital as well as technical assistance to small business entrepreneurs. So I worked on the technical assistance end and really became passionate about small business as a sort of ladder that folks could take to change their lifestyle, change their socioeconomic situation. And then transitioned from that to working at Xero with partners over at Xero. And that's where I found my passion for the accountant community and just admire and respect what you do for small business clients. And that's what led me here to Gusto.
Okay, so you're coming from a good Xero connection. I'm a QuickBooks Online user, I'm pleased with the product. It meets my needs, but I think for me, when I started 3 years ago, it was I wasn't really thoughtful about it, and so I always like to make sure people know there are other options. So we're actually going to do a big initiative with Xero, sort of the end of October, early November, just so people know that it's an option. I'm not I think there's lots of ways to skin a cat, and sometimes personal preferences is a perfectly fine way. So anyway, that's cool that you're from Xero. So we'll be able to, I know there's lots of Xero folks on here, and people probably will want to know, like, oh, is this just a QuickBooks thing or something? So that's good to know. Awesome. Well, okay, so everyone, I have a list of questions that I sent them, but I'm going to embark on this journey with you. I'll let y'all know I currently have 3 clients with Gusto, and I'm hitting my first year anniversary with my first client. So everybody know, I mean, I'm baby stepping my way through this business, and so I'm right there in the thick of things with you, and I want this cert, so that's why I'm doing this, because I like making friends online and helping people. But just because they're my questions doesn't mean that I've thought of everything. So chime in with your questions. I have a second screen over here that I'll read them. I'd much rather have y'all's than mine, but that way we're not just staring at each other. I've got some, so don't be shy. But I am going to ask Annie to just start us off with telling us, like, I want y'all, both y'all ladies, to know that, like, some folks on here are like even more, like, way more brand new than me. So like, what is Gusto? Give us the, like, someone, you know, an alien comes from outer space and you're telling them what is Gusto, because some of us are really new and we're wanting to know what the deal is. So tell us about Gusto. Why should a bookkeeper know about y'all and want to partner with you? Kind of what makes you unique.
Awesome. And Jacqueline, jump in here if you have anything to add. And if anyone has any questions and wants to dive deeper into anything that I say, please let Kate know, because I could talk about Gusto all day. I do talk about Gusto all day. So there's a ton to be said. But really, at the base of it all, Gusto is, we call it the people platform because we are focusing on the customer life cycle. And right now that starts with payroll, HR, and benefits. So if you have clients who are looking to get payroll for the first time, or you even have a client who has an established payroll system, they're just not happy with the processes, we really focus on both sides. What that means is making sure that if you want to run payroll for them, or you want to handle their benefits or get them all set up, you can do that. Or you can just say, hey, I partner with Gusto and Gusto handles it. And then I work with that client directly. So it's really great because it fits into what you need within your business. But as bookkeepers, as accountants, payroll is such an integral part of what you do day to day. You need to have that for pretty much everything that you're taking care of and pulling those reports. So we just make it easy for you to manage all your clients within Gusto. Payroll is done on average in 5 minutes or less with most clients. And we're just trying to make the customer experience and even the employee experience for your clients enjoyable, right? Payroll, HR, and benefits has never really been the sexiest thing. But I know as accountants and bookkeepers, you find joy in something that isn't normally as attractive as, as maybe some more exciting or dangerous jobs. And so we're just trying to make life easier. We're trying to make it fun. We're trying to make something that is generally intimidating, thinking about payroll, thinking about benefits, thinking about HR, hiring a new employee. How can we make that really easy for you and just feel supported throughout the whole process for you and your clients?
Right. Yeah. And so we would be able, like, if I wanted to have a big firm one day, Gusto could provide those services for me. But for now, they're just providing y'all. I'm working with y'all to provide them for my other small business clients. What about some of the What about some of the benefits? I know that y'all offer partners benefits. I think I've just hit that bronze level where the referrals start to happen, and I'm not exactly sure how it all works. But I know that there are some benefits. So tell us about that.
Great. And so just so you know, you can find all of this on Gusto's website as well. Right. So I'm going to be talking, it's going to be, you'll say, hey, that's interesting. I want to learn more about that. If you go to gusto.com, you can find all those details. But to give you some insight. So one thing, Kate, that you just mentioned is having Gusto payroll for your own firm, right? So if it's even just you on payroll, if you have 1 or 2 employees, or if you have 50, 100 employees in your firm and you want payroll, we offer that for free. So that's something that is just to get you the experience, make sure that you feel comfortable and confident with it. That's the first perk. No matter what, if you sign up today with me, I can get you on for your firm for free. Once you get to that bronze tiers, right? So bronze tier starts at 3 clients with Gusto. That is a 10% discount for you to pass along to your clients or keep as revenue share, because we have different billing options. So we can continue to bill them at the full rate. And then you just get a little passive income coming in for it. That also means that you have referrals. So you're on our partner directory. So those are the 2 big things with the bronze tier.
Oh, so I'm listed somewhere? Like
if you want to. If you want to.
Okay.
So you have the option to fill out. Exactly. So in your partner dashboard, there's a section for you to opt into the directory, fill out the details that you'd like, quick blurb about yourself. And then so when people search in your area or for your, what you are an expert in, you'll pop up, and it's a way for you to get a little bit of reciprocity with what's going on with Gusto.
Awesome.
After that, just touch real quick.
Okay.
Silver tier is 15 clients, and that's a 15% discount. The best thing here, and my goal for anyone I work with, is to get them to silver, because that's also VIP support. So anytime you have any questions, your support team only works with silver and gold partners. So you're really getting that heightened level of service. You get to skip the line because you're not calling into our general support team. So it's I can't speak highly enough about them. And then gold is everything that I just mentioned, but a 20% discount with 50 clients, 50, rather than a 15%.
Okay. I will just say that just as even before I was even bronze, that I'm curious how great that dedicated line is, because I feel like my questions are answered very, very timely. So I know sometimes the expertise might maybe be there, like they've probably been around Gusto longer, but just so other folks know, like my personal experience I've been very satisfied with getting my questions answered, and I've had a lot.
And thank you for that. I mean, we pride ourselves in our customer service. That's one of our pillars. So I would never say that our general support team is anything other than stellar, but the VIP team works only with partners with Gusto. So it's just a little bit of a different level of knowledge and understanding. But I'd say you can't really go wrong with our support.
Perfect. Well, if anyone else has questions about Gusto in general, chime in. We'll go back to this. We got someone, Margie, saying they're big Gusto fan, extremely satisfied. Michael is asking about health insurance. I think I'm gonna put a pin in that, Michael. We'll get back to that because I have questions too about that. And then Brianna is asking about the benefits side of things. So we will get to that because what's going to happen is we're going to have lots of those questions are going to be answered as we're training. Right? I mean, that's what the
There's
training is.
There's a whole benefits section.
The training that is of how to use Gusto to provide benefits for our clients is, that's what we're studying and all trying to achieve before October 14th for the prizes. But we'll get a high level answer to that questions for you. Now I'd like to ask Jacqueline, though, a question about just the People Advisory Certification. Tell us about that. I know it's new. Tell us kind of what was the motivation, why we should bother with this little thing, this certification.
Yeah. So at a high level, People Advisory Certification takes about 5 hours to complete.
Okay.
And it's an online e-learning course that you can access through your Gusto Pro dashboard, and that will take you to our home for partner education, training, and resources.
Gusto dashboard takes us to, so our dashboard I'm familiar with. That's where I've gone to help serve my clients. In that dashboard, I access a different ecosystem. That's the learning ecosystem. Is that right?
It's a seamless experience. Once you're in your Gusto Pro dashboard, there will be a tile on the right-hand panel called Gusto Learn.
Okay.
And when you click on that tile, that will take you to our home for certification.
Okay. And so tell us more. 5 hours e-learning.
Takes about 5 hours to complete. It's an e-learning course, and the course is comprised of 3 chapters. That's understanding payroll, benefits, and HR.
Okay.
So it's really meant to represent both the breadth of the People platform offering as well as its depth within each of these chapters.
Okay.
So each of those chapters is broken out in a similar fashion, where they start by introducing the topic at hand and giving a little bit of historical insight to help you understand why now is this really important time to offer this service and to possibly think about it through a new lens, and that's the People Advisory lens. You'll then transition into gaining foundational knowledge about payroll, benefits, and HR. And this is so important because in order to have that confidence to serve your clients, you have to talk the talk, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit of theory involved. And one of the things that really stood out to me as I sort of did the research and thinking about what should be included in this program is that there really isn't any other training on the market for accountants on payroll, benefits, and HR fundamentals. It's not really taught in undergraduate. It's not a part of the CPA licensure. So maybe you're lucky to have a good mentor and learn it on the job, but it's really hard and really risky to learn something like payroll in a sort of like fly by the seat of your pants approach, right? We thought it was so important to teach that foundational knowledge.
Right.
You'll then transition to learning about how that foundation plays out in our people platform, which I think is important because without having that broader context, it's hard to feel like you know what Gusto's doing, if there's things that you should be doing that aren't happening. So it'll not only give you the skill set on the product, but also the confidence to know that it's being used to really make you look like the hero that you are to your clients. And then finally, this is all brought together in a final part with people advisory that translates what you learned and teaches how you can apply that in practice with your clients.
Okay.
So it gives different vignettes and case studies and talk tracks to really take this abstract notion of people advisory and make it very concrete and attainable.
So like, how do I sit down with, or someone picks up the phone and asks me, do I help with benefits? And I'll be able to like kind of have practiced that conversation. Because right now I'd be kind of like,
what do I do? Totally. And that's such a great example because
can you email me so I can like research this and call you back?
I think that's a great example, and it's so poignant right now because we're about to enter into open enrollment.
Okay.
And so it's very much top of mind for Gusto as we help our members and our clients sort of gear up for this important time of year that really has an impact on employees and their families for the entire year ahead. So Kate, you're spot on with the benefits question. And I think that this course does give you the context, skill set, and framework to really turn this moment on its head to one where you might have felt uncomfortable in the past, not totally knowing how to respond or what tools your client would need, to having the context to know the foundational knowledge, right? Like that it is open enrollment and that this is what your client should be thinking about. And what you should do and think about as their people advisor versus what you can outsource to Gusto as the back office. Because really we're here to handle compliance and be the experts. That's what our teams do. And I think the role that people advisors can play is to really help clients understand the why payroll benefits and HR matter and what options are available to them. And then let Gusto handle the nitty gritty. It's not very fun anyways.
So let me, I like to stick up for my people and I try to not like, I don't want to shove stuff down people's throats. So let me so if I end up working with a client that has another payroll provider, like, and that maybe doesn't want to change, like this knowledge is kind of like general knowledge, not just related to Gusto. So I could learn about like, I mean, I can talk about open enrollment outside of partnership with Gusto. Like I know more about healthcare now, or I know more about HR issues, right? So I mean, this is a good general. This sounds, y'all. I mean, I'm really satisfied with Gusto, but whether you go with Gusto or not, like this sounds like a really good basics course in a lot of this stuff. So I'm just throwing that out there for anyone listening. That's awesome. I mean, it sounds pretty. It's like pretty good general training.
I think that's exactly right. And it hits on this really important point, which is that people advisory is bigger than Gusto. We're here to be the tools and resources to power your people advisory practice, but people advisory isn't Gusto per se. You are a people advisor and we're here to help. And so whether you take this knowledge and use Gusto's tools and products, which I would highly recommend,
yes,
you could be a people advisor and have that be powered by another provider.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's going to be people who we're going to interact with who are using platforms other than Gusto. I mean, that's just like, if you're in this game for long, you're going to you're going to encounter it. So I think it's cool that y'all have made it broader than just this is how to use Gusto. Awesome. I'm trying to expand the comments and it is not letting me. So I'm going to have to remember what some of those old ones were. Will has answered the question about y'all currently serve US. Y'all, so anyone listening, if you wrote a question, I can't see them. I can only see like the last 5. So I got several about not being able to see their learning tile on their dashboard? Is there a quick answer for that they just need to sit tight?
Yep. So that is if you went to Gusto or followed Kate's link and said, hey, I want to become a Gusto partner. That is just a shell dashboard. You actually have to talk to me first. So let's schedule a call. It can be 5 minutes. Doesn't have to be a big ask, big lift. I'll turn on that dashboard for you, and then it will magically appear. You'll see the tile. You'll see some more laid out features of the dashboard. But right now you're probably just seeing an intro for Gusto to partners, and that's why you're not having the functionality that you need. So email me, Annie@gusto.com. Kate has probably shared all that out. We'll make sure to do it after as well. And then we'll schedule a time to just jump on a quick call, get you all set up to take the certification.
Yeah, you also, one thing, the cool thing about Gusto is sort of how hands-on it is, and it's not like this, they could have built the platform that is not as interactive with humans. So this is similar. This is making me think about the Xero certification. Like if you want to become a Xero partner, you actually have to talk to someone at Xero. So that's so basically, wait, y'all. Annie's here. She's working. She's dedicated to us. Like I've been copied on a bunch of emails from her. She's clearly working to serve this group. So just give her a few moments. That learning dashboard will be there. You're all going to have plenty of time to get this done, and you'll get it done right, and you'll form the connection with your rep that you're going to need, because that first time you run payroll, you're going to be like, Annie,
did I do this right?
Yeah. Awesome. So the requirements to become certified, Jacqueline, so can you finish that? Like tests, quizzes, everyone passes, like what's the deal? Just watch the videos. Maybe also, do you have to go in like a certain order, something like that?
Yes, all great questions. So once you enter into Gusto Learn, which is that home for partner education, you'll be taken to the certification program. And there's 15 modules within the program total. And that's what represents those 3 chapters that I talked about: payroll, benefits, and HR. The modules do need to be taken in order. And the thought behind that is that the content really builds on itself. So payroll is foundational to people advisory. Learn that. Layer on benefits, and then HR really brings it all together. So you'll be taken on this nice learning journey that will be sort of filled with multiple aha moments. The chapters are broken up by a quiz. So they're sort of partitioned by a 10-question quiz. And really the quiz isn't meant to be a gotcha moment. We're not trying to make you study as if it were the SATs. You can really think of it as a moment to reflect on what you learned and to ensure that you sort of internalize the material so that you can turn around and share it with your clients. So once you've completed all 15 modules, which includes those 3 quizzes, you will be People Advisor certified. You'll get your, brand spanking new badge. That badge will show up automatically on your partner directory listing. You'll get a really beautiful certificate that's signed by your CEO. And as Kate alluded to earlier, be entered for prizes for some kind of cool swag.
That's right.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's, like you said, it's not meant to be a crushing experience, but also meant to be it's not a joke. It's a worthwhile training that you need to pay attention to. And okay, I think you kind of touched on this. How's the certification different from others on the market? Is there even anything like this else out there, or what are your thoughts on that?
I love this question because I feel like it allows me to talk about why I'm so passionate about this program.
All right.
And I think possibly in contrast to other certifications on the market, they tend to focus solely on product training. So it's this sort of like eat your vegetables exercise of like, this is going to be good for you and you sort of have to do it in order to use the product. But it may not be your favorite thing, right?
I think I've said the phrase "eat your vegetables" today. So, and it's not the favorite thing in my house. Keep going.
It's not. You need to do it, but it's not the funnest, right?
Yeah.
Whereas we see our certification as this like vehicle of transformation, because it's going to transform how you see payroll. And it'll also, through this people advisory lens, transform how you see your role at this exact point of time as the industry's going, like in this inflection point. And I think the role that we all have to play is really important. And that through telling this people advisory story, it will really kind of open your eyes to a different way of seeing yourself in the world and seeing how you can work with your clients.
Okay. That sounds awesome. I think I have the how do we get started on the CERT questions. You've answered that. So several people are asking about getting into contact with you, Annie. Y'all, I have probably 45 emails from Annie responding to everybody. So yes, she had the out of office message, but she's working her way through them. So, I mean, sit tight. This is going to happen like quickly. Like you're going to be contacted. So don't just take a deep breath. It'll happen. And the contact information is annie.arthur@gusto.com, ANNIE.ARTHUR@gusto.com. So that badge, that portal will be there. You'll have plenty of time to complete it. Okay, I do have a question. So say I have like 20 minutes a day, because I have a little bit more than that now, but 3 years ago there were some days when that was all I had. Is it possible to kind of work through it that way? Is it going to be meaningful? Would it be better to try to like get a babysitter and sit down for 5 hours all at once? That's a bigger task for some people. But what if we really only have a short amount of time to do this, but still want to finish by October 14th?
I know. It kind of makes me chuckle because it's like, when's the last time anyone's had 5 hours to do anything all at once, right? It's like, I actually think that the 20 minutes a day approach is the best possible way you could approach this program.
Okay.
Because it's not about achieving the badge. That's secondary. It's really about learning and taking this in and sort of giving yourself credit for investing in this learning experience. And by doing a small portion a day, I think there's a higher chance that you'll really learn what you read and what you engaged with. So I'd actually recommend that approach. Maybe block off 30 minutes a day at the end of your day and engage with the content over the course of a week to 2 weeks. I would do that over trying to do a single, 5-hour block.
Okay, awesome. That's great. I didn't know if maybe you were going to say like try to do one of the 3 chapters at a time or something. So that's super meaningful. I hope y'all are listening, hear that. Okay, now so Michael, yes, the certification is self-paced. You have to go in order.
And I suppose the other bit of that question, and maybe to answer Michael's question as well, because it is self-paced, the system is smart enough to know where you left off, so you just pick right back up again. There's no need to sort of like tinker with having to go click through a bunch of things.
Awesome. Okay, Annie, back to you. Can you talk to that person who is just starting out, thinking they want to build a bookkeeping business, or they've already decided, but maybe they've thought, doing payroll sounds way out of their league. How does Gusto make adding payroll services something that we can offer our clients, having that actually be attainable? Just a little background. That person was me 15 months ago so I had this client and I had signed him in January, my very first payroll client. Signed in January, and it was like this summer, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna hire my first employee," and I was like, "What?" I was cool. I promise you, I was cool. But then I was like, "Dang it! Like this is new. I'm gonna have to figure this out." And I remember thinking like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do payroll. That's people's, that puts food in people's kids' bellies. Like no way. Like what if they can't feed their kid? This is not. That's too much. That's too much stress." So I don't know if anyone else has felt like that's listening, where you're just like, oh, well, I can categorize transactions, but I'm not going to be responsible for payroll. I was able to partner with Gusto, get over those butterflies, and everyone's kids eaten. I've never had someone not get paid of my 3 clients, but it is kind of scary. So just this concept of like doing payroll, how does working with Gusto do that? Because I don't know how to calculate FICA
Right.
taxes.
And I don't think you should
Right.
think about
That's
that.
what I want to tell people. But let you tell them that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're thinking you're a bookkeeper starting out, payroll's scary. It's daunting. Benefits are scary and daunting. HR is, you could get sued. There are things that you want to help your clients out with, but you just get intimidated by that. And so if we focus just on payroll, right, because that's really where Gusto started for everything that we do. If you focus just on payroll, Kate, you said it, you don't want to mess that up. If someone doesn't get paid, that could be big issues for them that day down the road. So you really, again, are there to just advise. You're there to say, hey, instead of having a contractor, maybe it makes sense for us to look at having an employee and converting them, because they actually are characterized as more of an employee now, right? Or for bookkeeping purposes, you want to grab the reports for their payroll, but you don't want to actually be doing the day-to-day. You don't want to go in and enter all the hours. The great thing about Gusto is we are here as not only a tool for you, but a resource for any questions that you have. So if you are going in and doing the payroll, but you don't know the ins and outs of the filing system and those processes, you don't have to worry about that. You can still do the easy front end part of payroll, make sure your the employees are paid, and then we handle all the nitty gritty, like Jacqueline was saying. Or you don't want anything to do with payroll, you just know your client needs it, you can totally offload it and have it be something that only Gusto works on. And so you just say, hey, here's Gusto, I partner with them, they're going to be the best option for payroll. And then you're just there to oversee and be that support system for your client.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I have a couple of here. Questions here. For small businesses, what size by number of employees is it that typically starts with Gusto? All of my companies have one employee. That's my experience, Michael. So it can be as small as one.
Yeah.
And as large as, how about as large as?
We recommend around 100. That will be changing. We're looking to expand that number, but right now we say ideal state is 1 to 100 employees. That's where like 99% of small businesses fall anyway.
Right.
But we say 1 to 100 is really our bread and butter. We have different plans to help different businesses out, right? So a company with 100 employees is going to be very different with their needs than a company with 1 employee or an owner-only S-Corp, right? Who is very simple but can sometimes take up a lot of your time. So how can we make it just really easy and efficient for those small businesses as well? So happy to go into detail about that if there are any specific questions, but we really do have different plans so that it isn't just a one-size-fits-all, and we're making it a great experience for any size company.
Awesome. Well, Jacqueline, I got a question for you. There are lots of people in my group that probably have joined this study group too, maybe a little cynically joined, and they might be saying, like, why on earth would I want to watch a set of videos about benefits, about HR? That's, not my job, hashtag not my job. So when Gusto created this program, why did you add these particular modules? Because you knew you were going to be, obviously it's better for Gusto to go after those accountants and bookkeepers who have like big practices, right? That's better for y'all if an accountant, I don't have a lot of clients, but if I did, y'all are like, woohoo, we got another accountant partner who's going to bring, 50 new clients to us. But that person are they thinking like HR is not my job? So why should we care? Talk to that 10, 20-year veteran who might be skeptical of spending 5 hours doing this search.
Yeah, so I feel like there's 2 parts of that I'd like to address.
Okay.
The first is like certification being a bunch of videos. I know that there's other certification programs that are like that. Ours is not.
Okay.
Ours is, I would genuinely describe it as an interactive experience that will engage you as a learner because there's different modalities in there. There are videos, there's reading, there's, you roll up your sleeves and you go into the demo company so that you can learn by doing. And then there's also just moments to pause and reflect. So please don't feel as if you have to embark on watching, 5 hours worth of screenshot videos.
Okay. Okay.
That's not the case.
Thank
it's
you.
fun. I promise.
Thank you.
And then a bit about benefits in HR. This really speaks to why we didn't launch certification as your sort of tried and true product training, and why it's called People Advisory Certification. Because by becoming certified, you will start your journey as a people advisor. And people advisory is all about helping clients take care of their team. Because we know that when a team is happy, healthy, and cared for, that's really what begets business success. There's multiple studies that show that. And so I think that we've seen, through this period of the pandemic and the ensuing economic and health crisis, that clients are already coming to you with more questions than ever about their team. Like, do they, lay some people off so that they can keep other people's on? Do they let go of their benefits so that they can keep other people employed? Now there's this rise in virtual work, right? And people are telecommuting across state lines. And so whether you're doing payroll, benefits, and HR, or just payroll, you need to be thinking about, what does it mean if my client is hiring somebody outside of their state?
Yeah.
So it feels like, to really set our partners up for success, it was so important to us to give them the tools that they need across the entire people platform, right? To really make you a people advisor, as opposed to just be knowledgeable about payroll.
Okay. There you have it, old veteran. It's for you too. It's for you too. And we can, I would imagine it's probably something that even a seasoned person can learn, still something new. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
I would say for the more seasoned payroll provider, that really the nice part about the way the training is set up is that if there's portions that you already know, don't spend your time there. Skim it. That's totally fine. Spend those precious 30 minutes a day that you're investing in your own education on what's interesting to you and what you think your clients will find most use out of. So maybe skim the payroll part and go deep into the benefits portion.
Yeah.
Or if you're more earlier on in your journey with payroll, spend your time on the payroll portion. Maybe skim benefits in HR, and certification is meant to be a reference piece. You can come back to it again and again, even after you're certified. So it's there for you.
I was going to ask that too. You might have a client that's like, okay, I'm ready to provide health insurance. Here's a story, case study. My very first payroll client, the person he hired was young enough to still be on his parents' health insurance. I hope this isn't illegal. No one's going to find out who I'm talking about. But he was just like, well, so they made a deal in their hiring that he had 2 years worth of time to figure out his health care situation. And we've made it 1 year. I guess probably spring of next year, he's going to be like, oh yeah, I got to start thinking about giving this guy healthcare. So that might be something where, as a first for me, I'll have to go, I'll get the certification now. But maybe I'll have to go back and watch those when he picks up the phone and says, it's time for us to do something. And he'll call. I know he's going to ask, because he was kind of asking sort of, but he also knew it was like, I can wait. So anyway, that's just a little, my own personal case study on that.
I think that what that brings up for me is that education or training is at its most powerful when it answers questions that you have. Mm-hmm. So if you have questions about payroll, benefits, and HR, this program will answer them for you. Okay. And if in your journey of offering payroll or offering people advisory, you haven't gotten to a place yet where you're wondering, how does this work, or how should I talk to my clients about it? That's okay. Those questions might come up for you in the future, and that the program's there for you.
I like your advice though about if you're brand new and haven't done any of this. I mean, there are people in this group who, majored in accounting, never really worked in it, had some kids, whatever, and now they're kind of thinking, back in you start with the payroll part. I would say really focus on there. I mean, if your experience is anything like mine, I focused on smaller clients, their needs. They're as businesses grow, these added HR complexities grow. But payroll is sort of the number one thing. I mean, that's the moment of pride, that first employee that someone hires. So I like the idea of, if your experience has been like mine, focusing on that payroll training, paying most close attention to that. I got another question here from a couple folks. what size company can start signing up for healthcare? That was a very specific question, but maybe we can get that answered.
Yeah, great question. So what I'll say is it depends on the underwriting of the carriers in each state, but with Gusto, it can be as little as 1 employee. So I'd say reach out. Our benefits advisors will discuss the options with you depending on the state and the carriers available within that state. But in terms of Gusto's limitation, nothing. It's as little as 1 employee.
Okay. And then another question, Annie, on your scheduling page, do we just click on quick chat or partnership alignment?
Either, whatever you'd like to do. I won't be picky. Quick chat should probably be fast enough. That's a 15-minute conversation.
All right, Janet, I hope that answers your question. And thank you, Annie, for being so generous with your time. I know this will be kind of like a headache for the next 24, 48 hours.
I'm excited to meet everyone.
Then we'll get it done, and
yeah.
We'll catch, everyone can for sure spend their weekend learning Gusto.
Right.
So I'm looking, I have 2 more questions. Let me read them. Okay. I know this cert is only a couple months old, and I thought maybe I would ask if you've seen any success stories, even just in these initial first 2 months. I guess you can also say if you've seen any, like if y'all been able to fix some hiccups too. But like what's happening? The people that have already jumped on board, how are people utilizing this successfully?
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to share that just this week we hit a milestone of 500 partners certified.
All right.
And that's been 2 months of launching. So the program is gaining traction. And I think what that speaks to is that accountants are really finding the value in it. And I would say that the success story is really one of like, after folks get certified, people advisory is a journey. Offering payroll is a journey, and it's not about suddenly taking this and then having this entire new service offering that you can offer, but really about taking those first few steps, right? So for me, the biggest success story is like, I've offered payroll for a while and I've just never thought to talk to my clients about their time tracking needs, but I feel confident doing that now. Or I've never talked to my clients about having a pay-as-you-go workers' comp solution. And I did that, and it really changed what they're doing. And it's like heightened how they see me as their trusted advisor. So that's just like those stories have been like flooding in. And I think it just speaks to you get certified, build that foundational knowledge. And then it's about piloting these new lines of discovery or talk tracks with your clients and building up your confidence that people advisory is attainable and it is real. And then from there, taking that next step to think about, okay, how do I formally offer this as a service line? And Will, who I know is in the Facebook group, wrote this amazing people advisory playbook. It's a 60-page it's a 60-page ebook that you'll receive a copy of after becoming certified that helps you think about, really how to use people advisory as a way to bring your firm into the cloud, how to offer advisory services and become more sophisticated in the ways that you engage with your clients. So I think we have 500 folks who have started their journey and lots of early success stories around how they're beginning to pilot these new people advisory moments.
Anything on the horizon that y'all are, you have on your like whiteboard in your office about this time next year for people advisory? You're hoping, I'm sure there'll be like more stuff that we get as people advisor certified Gusto partners. So what are your hopes and dreams, assuming there's time and budget and all that?
Right. Well, one thing I'll call out in the near term is that on October 6th, we're hosting an hour-long interactive webinar on how people advisors can help clients access Gusto's no-cost, low-cost, and premium benefits. So it'll really build on the knowledge you gained in certification and give you this new framework by which to talk to your clients about upcoming open enrollment. Since about 60% of small businesses, open enrollment tracks with the calendar year. So this is this like really precious window of time where you can make an outsized impact on the health and well-being of their employees for the year ahead. So I'm really excited about that in October. And then as I think ahead, I think we do have some things in the works that we're excited about, and it's all about supporting partners as they get deeper into their people advisory journey. So building content and programs and community like this one to give people the sort of infrastructure and the support they need to make this real. So that way together we can really make an impact on small business clients who we know are struggling right now.
I know some people in the group had asked about CPE credits. I know that's kind of in the works. Can you give us the update on that?
Yes, CPE credits are in the works, and fingers crossed we'll be able to offer about 5 CPE credits for the course by the end of the calendar year.
Okay.
So we're somewhat at the mercy of NASBA since we're working with them on the application process and they have to give us the green light to offer credits.
Okay.
As per NASBA's rules, we cannot offer CPE credits in arrears.
Right.
So what that means is if you take them now, we can't turn around and offer them to you after Gusto becomes accredited. So if CPE is a sort of, game changer for you, then you can wait. But that said, a few things, just food for thought here, is that, again, sort of open enrollment season is upon us. There's this entire chapter about benefits and certification. So if you decide to invest your time in this program right now, I think the reward will be far greater than any CPE credit.
Okay.
And also, Gusto offers ample webinars on CPA Academy where you can get CPE credits there on a ton of great topics with really engaging speakers. So that's another route towards CPE.
Cool. Carlin is asking whether we get an icon, a badge for our websites and signatures that may attract new clients.
Of course, that's the best part of the certification program, right? Yeah. I think you have the badge in the hero image for the study group, right?
I think so. The white or the red skinny outline with Gusto and bottom. People sort of okay. So that's the badge. Okay. Will send that to me. I was like, I'm supposed to be using pictures. People are more attracted to pictures. Send me one. So yeah, that's awesome. So we'll get to put that. You can. I'll say, Carlin, you also get a. So there's 2 badges. I have my Gusto Bronze Partner badge already, and then now I'm going to have this additional badge too. So
different colors, different
badge it up,
sizes. We got you.
I have a couple more things to talk about unless we have any more questions. If I have not answered your question, please retype it because I'll see it if you ask it again. Don't feel embarrassed about asking again. I just can't see I can't see the whole thread for some reason. I want to tell y'all about, so what's going to happen. We have scheduled 3 o'clock calls for the next 3 Wednesdays. The next 2 Wednesdays are going to be just a general Q&A. What I envision, unless someone sends me a PM with a better idea, I envision a couple things. One is kind of rah-rah moments. So those can be little milestones of you know what, I want to be able to say on the Wednesday call that I did it. So that can be your own personal goal, right? We all have to, otherwise, there's any number of certifications we can get and we don't go get them because we don't have the goal to do it. So there'll be that. If you're stuck on anything, this will be the chance to get Annie and Jacqueline to give you some advice, maybe, and I'm going to push hard, right? So y'all know me, if we need them to support us more, we'll say someone go find the textbook on Amazon that teaches payroll because we need some more help here, people, and I can send these payroll people to give us the best additional resource maybe. I don't even know. Whatever the questions that come up, because again, I haven't taken it yet, but if I have questions, I'm gonna want a really robust education. The next thing I hope to do during these calls is for us to give Gusto feedback. It's exciting that we're I think there's 174 people in the group by now. I know there'll be more. I mean, even if half of us finish, that's going to be a huge percentage boost. And so community is just so important. And so Jacqueline and Annie are now like in our community, and we can kindly give feedback. We can say, let's like, how do we make this better? Because Gusto's success will be our success, right? So I envision that, you know, like if you got any feedback for them, and Jacqueline specifically said she was excited about that. So yeah, so if you have questions, we'll be able to get them answered. It'll be little mini milestones to push yourself if you need it. And I have the list of other, I wrote some questions for the second call, the first of the two like intermediate calls. Oh yeah, and then I hope to get their advice, y'all, about how we do it. So maybe we can get some advice about, okay, so, you know, Carlin, she says, do we get a badge? Carlin, do you really know what to do with that badge? Maybe we'll get some advice from folks who are, you know, Jacqueline and Annie, they're seeing these certified advisors making a great blog post, or here's how I would put it on LinkedIn, or make a quick video announcing it on your Facebook page, stuff like that. So I want us to be able to share ideas about like, okay, so what? I thought that was the question I wrote. I was like, okay, Jacqueline, like I did it, so what? And I want them to help us answer that question so it doesn't just accumulate, you know, virtual dust. Then on the 14th will be our last call. And that's the certification's ongoing. So if you don't finish by the 14th, don't stop. But Gusto has generously like offered some prizes. We're going to work out the details of like how we're going to distribute those, but basically know that you need to finish by the 14th if you want to participate in however we iron this out. There's some stuff up in the air about like how many people it looks like it's going to finish. And so, you know, is it going to be like one prize for every 10 or 30 or whatever? We don't know yet, but we'll be transparent as we are working it out. Right now, we don't know. We just know there will be prizes. And that's going to be on the 14th. And so that's the goal. And then in the meantime, ask questions in the Facebook group, tag me. I think my plan is to probably write something about every module, just so y'all know how to expect how I'm going to behave in the Facebook group. It'll help me, like, what is my main takeaway from each of the 15 modules? And I'll probably just throw that up there. Otherwise, we can interact in the group however y'all want. No questions, no dumb questions. Like, seriously, a year ago, I signed my first client on for payroll, guys. I'm smart, my business is growing, but it's okay if you feel like that you don't know what you're doing, and this is the safe spot to say all that. So that's what I hope the group is gonna be, is that safe space to be able to ask the question that you're like sure that no one has, but like, I'll tell you, like 50 other people have the same question, so don't be shy. So that's kind of my wrap-up thoughts for this. We'll be back next week. Jacqueline and Annie, do y'all think of anything else we've missed to get us going?
I'll just say again, I'm so incredibly grateful to be here, and feedback is a gift. So please bring your honest, candid thoughts about what landed for you, what needs more clarification, how Gusto can support, how your peers can support. We're so excited to be a part of this moment.
Yeah, I'm just excited to work with you all. Please use me as an extension of your firm. So really any questions that you have, Jacqueline and I are here for you.
All right, well, I don't see any other questions over here on the side, so we've been going a while. I'm really grateful for all y'all's time. You know, we won't have more than an hour on the next 3 weeks, but we'll have less than that if we need it. So if there's no questions, we're not going to just blow hot air, guys. So be here, let us know what questions you have. If you can't be here live, tag us, and I'll try to record the questions kind of ahead of time for the next week's call. And this has been great. We've had so many people watch. We're really going to do something. Oh, sorry, last thing. I made a post and I put it at the top, and this is the best way I thought to do this. This is the post where you announce when you're done. So hopefully people will start to realize that's what's happening. But shout it out. We'll celebrate. Be friendly. Everyone's separated and alone, and it's totally lame. And let's be friends and help each other. And awesome. I'm going to sign us off. Tag us in this, the Gusto study group if you have questions. Okay, guys? Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.